If you remind me to turn it back on.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it didn't. It didn't. Got the party going.
Yeah.
How you doing, Amy?
Morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Morning.
You're with.
So I'm with Delaware Commute Solutions, which is a commuter program under Dartford State.
Oh, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And then we have Jim.
Morning.
Good morning, Jim. And who you with?
Next Home Preferred
Next.
Realty,
Okay.
real estate.
Oh, beautiful. Love real estate. And then we have Erlene. Who you representing, Erlene?
Morning, I have a financial service business.
Nice. And then we have, oh, it said Justin Connor, but that's not Justin.
I
Somehow
can
I
change my
see.
name.
What's her name?
My name's Heather.
Heather, nice to meet you. And what do you do at Growing Bones?
I am the practice manager.
Nice. Me and Justin are twins. We were born the exact same day. You
You know, I think he did tell me that.
know? Yeah, that's cool. Kayla, tell us about yourself.
Hi, everybody. Good morning. I'm Kayla Scott, and I'm actually coming in from First Aid Educate. We're a nonprofit in Delaware that focuses directly on supporting school boards. And so we would love to connect with the Chamber of Commerce and all your amazing resources to, drive student solutions and connect with school boards. We have an election coming up, so it's good to be meeting with a lot of influential people.
Nice. Nice. And then Denise.
Good morning, everybody. I apologize. I'm not on camera. I'm driving. So we're doing this from the front seat. I am with Delaware Department of Labor, Division of Vocational Rehabilitation. And our mission is to assist people with disabilities to obtain employment. And that includes working with businesses to assist them as far as using our qualified talent pool to find appropriate candidates that would be successful in their business, but also to provide services. For example, if they have a current employee that obtains a disability and they need guidance, or that person might need assistance as far as accommodations or something, we can also help out with that. So we love to be connected with all of our businesses.
Awesome. Cool deal. So anybody else who comes in, they won't get a shout out. So you guys got the shout out, got a little bit of marketing action. I believe they're saving this video. So anybody who comes on will always be able to, hear what you do. So I'm Evans. Just to kind of tell you guys a little bit about myself, and then we're going to go straight in. Just so you understand how we're going to do today's session, probably going to go through like 5 to 10 minutes of just thought process around AI, and then we're going to play the game. Because I think that, using AI is critical, but seeing how to do it is even more important. And based on your businesses and how things work will determine, how much and where you use it from. But I'm going to at least hopefully leave you some tools that you can use for your business. So I own several different businesses here. I have Seen You Fit. We do personal training, stretch therapy. We're in Dover, Middletown, and Milford. We specialize in serving people over 40 years old. And yes, we do have some people under 40, but that's our sweet spot. And people who've had challenges like physically in their body to help them, move better, live better, decrease weight, be stronger, have better quality lives. And then I also own a licensing company, See Stretch, where we license stretch therapy to other gyms throughout the country. So I launched that last year, and we have about 20 gyms that we licensed already in our first year of business. So we've been a little active. I've been with the chamber now, I think over 13 years I've been with the chamber. And when I started, we had we had no official location. I was subleasing from a doctor's office at the time. And then one of my clients was like, Evans, you need to join the chamber. I joined the chamber. And the first year, there's no real ROI when you join the chamber. So the purpose, of the first year is really relationship development. And, so that's what I did. She said, hey, don't try to sell anything, just build quality relationships. If people see value in what you do, they will buy your stuff, so that's what I did. I joined the chamber. I developed relationships. I found ways that I can add value to other people's life, and their businesses. And then the second year, we started to acquire clients. I can now say in the about 13 years I've been in the chamber, we've probably derived well over $3+ million from the relationships and the business we've generated being a part of the chamber. So it's been a really good investment for like 300 something dollars a month. I mean, a year, sorry, to create that kind of ROI. But it just took me attending the different things, figuring out where's my talent, and then, and adding value from that perspective. So it's a huge investment, huge ROI. If you use, I've been on the executive board for over 10 years, helping drive the ship of who the chamber is and where they're going. So let's talk about AI. AI is not a question of like if you're going to use AI. AI has been a part of your world, whether you knew it or not, for probably the last decade. It's just in the last 2 to 3 years. In the last 2 to 3 years, AI has now moved into this space where we, as the end user, can change things and manipulate things and move things around. So it's giving a lot of power to what we can do in business. And as big businesses are feeling the impact of it, and AI is wiping out some things that are happening in a business. So it's not necessarily like if we're going to have it around or where it's going to be. It's like, how do we use it now to grow our businesses? It's not initially a threat to our business unless we're choosing not to evolve. You know, not that, Charles Darwin's my favorite person, but I do love his quote that says that, the person who survives or the animal who survives is not the strongest animal, but the one that's more adaptable to change. And so it's causing us to see, like, can we adapt? And it's moving like fast, like so. And when ChatGPT came out, about 2, 3 years ago, we sat down with our kids and we said, hey, this is it. But now, if you're just using it the same way as you were using it before, you're not adapting. And I'll give you some really fun tools to work with it. What are some things you can do as a small business owner, though? You can streamline operations. You can improve your customer service experience, and you can drive revenue growth. So those are the three big things I see to do it. And it doesn't have to be complex nor expensive. I do recommend, if you're going to play the game, to pay the $20 a month and have the pro version of ChatGPT. There's a couple different advantages that it provides. One is that all the information that you put inside stays within your ChatGPT. So it doesn't share it out to other GPTs, but the free version is a public version. So it's like Wikipedia. Someone creates stuff and other people can see what's created. Now, they don't know that Kayla created it. They just know it's created, in there. So it doesn't change necessarily always the quality of the content, but sometimes you want your stuff just in your ecosystem. And so the paid version allows you to do that. It also allows you to do multi-layered prompting. So, what ChatGPT does, it looks within what was created and it can constantly create more and more content based on what's created, you know. And the last feature that you can do is you can build your own GPT. So, like in my business, I have a marketing GPT, and every time I ask it a question, it just creates content based on the data I've fed it in the past, and it can create really cool marketing content for me. And then I have a HR GPT. So if I have a challenge, I can say, hey, this is what happened. How should we respond? And it'll look through all my HR documents and tell me, hey, based on what you have and based on what's happening in HR world, this is what we recommend. So I literally can like drive and talk to chat, and it'll give me answers back and forth and queries back and forth, and then spit out a downloadable document for what I want to do, which is really cool. So there's a lot of cool benefits, and it's at a very low cost. Now, who's at threat, I would say, to AI is people who do like low, I don't mean this derogatory, but low level thinking jobs. We've seen this, 10, 15 years ago when the automatic checkout came in. I was one of the most resistant. I'm like, it's taking everybody's jobs. I don't want to do it. Now you can't not do it. You can find like, hey, I'm not going to wait for this person. I'm just going to check out myself. But really, there wasn't a lot of mental energy tied to scanning and putting it into a bag. And those entry level or lower like level thinking jobs are being wiped out with it, unless that person's finding a way to use technology to get their jobs done faster. So it's an ally, not a threat for us, and it's key that we look at it that way. In case I miss anything, I want to give you some tools that you can write down. I won't be able to go through all of them, but we know ChatGPT is one of them. you know, um, for most of the businesses that's represented, you don't need like a lot of heavy stuff, but I use Perplexity. I'm actually going to show it to you in a moment. AI in there, Fathom. So if you look inside the windows, I have this Fathom a note recorder. Fathom is free, and with Fathom, what it does, it records your Zoom video or it could be Zoom, it could be Google Meets, but whatever video conference you're in, it'll record the video. It'll give you the full transcripts. It'll give you an outline that it'll email to you and everybody else that attends the meeting. So it's really cool tool. Even if you say things like, "Hey, I'm going to follow up with you on this." It'll pick that and it'll say, "Here, these are the things that you should follow up with." It can create tasks and everything just from the conversation. So it's a really powerful tool to be able to say, okay, we talked for 45 minutes. What are the key points? If you do like we're doing this talk right now, I can take the transcript, drop it into something else because it'll put every word that was said and create an outline, notes, marketing material, all kinds of stuff. So it's pretty cool. And then you can search, and I'll pull it up so you can see it. You can search with it. So, and actually, let me do this to kind of help you guys as I'm giving you these tools. I'll just show it to you. So I'm going to share my screen here. And so screen search, desktop, so you guys can see my screen. I'm on Fathom right here. And then I can go into a conversation that I had, so, I can go in and just like look at, I had this catch up meeting with Joey, right? So as I looked into this meeting, you can see I can scrub through the meeting notes. I can share this with one click to Joey, but in here it says here, this is the purpose of the meeting. It'll give here are the key takeaways of the meeting. Here are the topics about Keynote Tech. Here's Evan's Senior Fits business challenges. Here's the marketing position and strategy. Here's the upcoming conference that we discussed. Here's the referral program, and here's any next steps. So it literally spits out all that information in there. If I was to like, hey, where, and this is just a summary, and then I can go literally line by line to the transcript, and it'll take to that one spot. If I wanted to search Marty, because he introduced Marty, I can search Marty. It'll take me to right where Marty was discussed in the transcript. So it makes the ability to operate and do things a lot easier. And then I can literally just copy that entire transcript over. So it's a note taker virtually that I don't have to spend energy note taking with. Another fun one is Perplexity. So what Perplexity does, so sometimes the challenge that ChatGPT has is that it doesn't do a really good job at searching websites. But Perplexity can like search websites and give the content. So before you guys came on, we were chatting, we were looking at Kent County tourism. And, so I just put this little cue in here, and I'll talk about prompts in a minute. But I put this prompt in here and says, hey, I want you to fill out the following. I want to create a business context file, and it's going to be based on the business. It's Kent County tourism, and I spelled tourism wrong. Beautiful. And then, another fun AI tools like Grammarly. There's quite a bit of other ones that can kind of help you when you do things like that. But then here's the website. I didn't put anything in description, spokesperson, or bio. And so I just press enter. And what it does is searching let me just mute this person here. It starts searching their website, and then it starts pulling up content. And it says, hey, this is Kent County Tourism. This is their description, right? And there's no spokesperson in their information provided. There's no bio. So basically, like right now, Kent County Tourism, as far as online, doesn't have like a face to the business. So an opportunity from a marketing perspective is have a face to the business, because we should be able to go to it and say, hey, who is this person that's behind it? So that's just the easy marketing, feel thing, that you can take this information and copy it and then do other things with. So I'll show you like somebody I did this with, not let me search my library here. So Sam, let's see, yeah, there we go. Just took a second. Sam, where are you, Sam? Chiropractor. So this with my friend, I think. Where are you? And I'll look up businesses all the time, transcend, search results. But I'll look up a business and it'll tell me, well, I'll just use this one here. I'll even use mine. And so this is when I did back, I searched, pulled up, insert this information, and it says, hey, this is the description of the business. Here's this person, here's their bio. So it starts giving you some information about the company. And you can search anything. It doesn't have to be about a business. You can use anything to search. But it's just a cool AI search tool in there. So that's Fathom. Another one is Otter. Otter's great for your meetings. So you go to a meeting and you say, hey, or just if you want to talk to someone, so you may just like, hey, let's say you want to get your thoughts out and you don't want to write down your notes. You can use Otter and just record. And what it does, so this is injury prevention strategies here. What it does is it does the same thing. I just pretty much talked and it created all these things. Now it looks like in this might have been a conversation. We were talking about different things, and it'll separate each speaker in there. So speaker 1, 2, 3, 4. You could search in it to see like, hey, what about this certain conversation piece? You can copy the transcript. You can copy the summary of it. And Otter can link into a Zoom meeting, but this is just all audio. But it takes all your audio and puts to text. For free, you get like 10 hours a month of audio recording. So let's say you say, hey, we're in a board meeting. Instead of having somebody there transcribing, literally Otter will transcribe every single thing, and then you can export it to a document. Your meeting notes are done. So no more of like, oh, because a lot of times when we have a transcriber, it's subjective. It's like, what did they want to write down versus this is catching everything that goes down. So I encourage my team to use it and everything else, but it's just a really cool tool. And, for the free version, you get 10, hours a month. So 600 minutes. It's a lot of time to record. And you can see like, oh, this person said this, and this person said this, and this person said that with it. So another really cool when it comes to grabbing data. So we have those two in there. When it comes to doing prompts on ChatGPT, what we want to do is use what I call the 30, 40, 30 method. So what that method is that 30% of what you put in there has to be a really good prompt. And so I don't know why I always do this. I always do the share and then unshare thing. So so I'm going to go back and just share. So we grabbed this file from Kent County Tourism, right? I can take this and just, copy the text from there. Then I'm going to drop it into ChatGPT, right? And then I'm just going to say, create. What would you like me to create? Create a press release. What do you want?
Yeah, create a press release on our new brand because we became Visit Central Delaware in June of this year or
Great.
last year.
Press release. Release. We should have somebody else typing on new brand. Visit Central Delaware. Visit Central Delaware. So boom, boom, done. Right. So all I did was copy the text in there, and then it creates this press release. So let's look at this press release that it's creating. And it takes seconds. Like if you were to type all this out, you'll be spending a bunch of time creating, this press release. Still writing. It writes out a press release, right? It's not a bad press release, right? It's Kent County Tourism, it's from the dates, this is who they are, this new brand, the diversifies offerings. I'd like you to read this and tell me if it's good.
It's not bad. It does have some inaccuracies. Like it says Dover International Speedway. They've been rebranded to Dover Motor Speedway for a few years now.
Cool. So then what we want to do though is like do a better job at giving a cue. Because all it did was say, okay, write a press release. So instead, we're going to give it a better prompt and then we're going to update. So first we want to do is update. So here we go. First, I'm going to give it a different prompt and I'm going to give it this prompt. This is a prompt that's more intense, right? So the task says, hey, gather specific agent information from the user to tailor the press release announcement. Develop a comprehensive press release that positions the company both as dependable solution provider and an expert partner focusing on media engagement and enhancing brand awareness. So now this is a higher level of thinking. I got to think about what do I want to accomplish in this press release. I didn't ask it what to do, what I want to accomplish. I just said write something. So as we go into creating the prompt, we have to think about like, what is it that we want it to accomplish, right? And then I totally put all this stuff in here. This is just, but none of this is specific in here yet. And then pain points, challenges, company's unique value proposition or solution, supporting visuals. We don't need any supporting visuals, so we'll just take that out for now. Multimedia links that can enhance, and I can even say like backlinks. So what backlinks are is like or external links or links to other businesses that are in similar industry or that can help you expand your industry. So if I'm Kent County Tourism, I may have a link on my press release if I'm putting this on like a website somewhere that links to different companies that may have even a bigger presence in Kent County or something in there. So now their users, when they're searching their stuff, also sees Kent County Tourism. Does that make sense? Include backlinks. I don't know if she disappeared. I only can see a few people at a time.
Here.
Cool. And then press release serve two purposes, right? I want media engagements. I want brand awareness and credibility, right? So, so then I send this out. It's a longer prompt in there, and it's going to say, hey, let's gather some information. So now it started asking me, questions that I need to answer before I can create a press release. So before crafting this, I need a little bit more details, right? Is there a new website? And then I can fill out all this information in there. And once I do, I'm going to, do you know how to request the ability to control my screen from Zoom?
I think if I just hit share and send request, yeah.
So it shouldn't be like share. You should be able to like write on my screen.
Um,
Remote control. There's a little button that says remote control. So it's just to the right of the share, pause, annotate, remote control.
I have AI companion, meeting info, and apps.
Let me see, can I give it to you? All right, so I won't do it in there. So I'll do my best to answer this in here. Normally I would have collected all this, right? So are we launching as a, so the first one is specific announcement key. So are we launching the Visit Central Delaware brand officially, right? So yes. Did you do a ribbon cutting and all that already?
No.
Okay. Is there one scheduled?
Sort of. We're doing a tourism awards in May, and that's what we're kind of doing as the
Cool.
ribbon cutting sort of thing.
So brand officially, I cheat, copy and paste. So we go, yes. And what's it, you said the tourism, what?
A tourism awards luncheon in May, so that's going to be kind of our in-person event with the new brand.
Nice. Awards luncheon in May. May what?
May 6th.
May 6th as the big launch, not bug launch. And then what aspects do you want to focus on? Economic impact, tourism, community engagement, or something else?
I would say community engagement and tourism growth.
Nice. And you don't have to like write the answers next to the question because it's intelligent enough that
Mhm.
it'll just go, okay, that was the answer to that question. So it saves you a ton of time, in there. Any other key partners or sponsorships or government involvement that you want to highlight?
No, not for
Okay.
this press release.
Any stats or in there?
Um,
You don't have to.
yeah, no, not off the top of my head.
Who's the primary audience that you want this press release to go to?
I would say local media, Delaware residents, travel, pretty much everything they listed.
Okay.
We'll go with all the above.
Yes, that's cool. All of the above, that's fine. And then any media assets available, new logo, is all that the same?
Yep, yeah, we have a new logo and all that, but
If we did, we can do an attach file, attach the file of it, and it put it into some of the stuff there. And then the spokesperson, who's the spokesperson for, who's the face of Kent County Tourism?
that could be me.
Okay. And then what's your role?
I'm the marketing communications manager.
Communications manager. All right. So just with this limited piece here, let's see what it creates. You said Dover Speedway is no longer Dover Speedway?
It got it right this time. It's Dover Motor Speedway. The last one it said Dover International Speedway, which was their old brand. Which is interesting that it fixed it this time when we didn't tell it to.
No, but we did say in this prompt to go and look back. So in the prompt, we said do market research and find who the partners are and all these other kind of things. The other one, we just said write a press release.
Yeah.
So strategic boost, economic growth, awards, celebration, growth and innovation, official visit, boom, boom, brand new launch takes place here, May 26th. Bringing together industry leaders, local business owners, and key stakeholders. This event will highlight the region's tourism success, recognize outstanding, so there's really cool stuff that it pulls and has all the stuff in here. And then if we had your phone number, email, we can insert that. Any media links, on videos, pictures, all that is in there. It even gives you hashtags that you want to use in there. And let's say we want to up the SEO engagement. I just want to show you guys how to like help you with some SEO. You can say give you know, SEO tags, you know, for blog. And it'll say, hey, these are the tags that you should tag your blog with. You know, so primary focus, boom, 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 boom. And then, you know, like, hey, if I'm putting this on a website, these are the tags that I need to use. You know, so it puts all that stuff in place for you. But then literally you can just go to, if you use Google Docs, you can click doc.new and that opens up a new Google Doc. And then you can just come right into this chat and click copy right there and paste, and you're done. You know, but for you to like write, come out that even put a quote in there, right? It says Visit Delaware represents more than just a new name. It's renewed commitment to making our region the premier destination. And it quoted you, Catherine. That was a nice quote. You know, you know, so it kind of like creates quotes, all this kind of stuff, and you're done. And of course, well, we only did 60, we actually did the other 30. So 30% was we have to put good quality prompts in. The 40% was chat's going to create this stuff. The last 30% is we have to tweak it. So you'd have to like read it. We don't have the time to do it here, but we'd have to read it and go, I don't like this, change this, move this. And we don't have to say please and thank you. We're talking to a robot, you know, so we just tell it what it needs to do and it makes the changes. As you notice, you don't have to, if we set it up to ask questions, you don't have to like go through this thing. You just put these things in there. It knows where it came from and it just spits the data in the way you want it to. So it's a real powerful tool from that standpoint. I see somebody send a message here. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. So, but yeah, so that's just one cool way to use, you know, chat. You know, now the other stuff you can do, if you would just talk, because it's a distraction for me to turn my head and see pop-ups. So I just prefer if someone has something to say, just unmute yourself and just talk to me. You know.
Okay, sorry. I was just saying the structure and the prompts are really helpful. They make a big difference. That's really cool to see.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Now, I'll show you some things that I did here since we're on chat. I created what's, you know, for my business senior stretch, I created my own GPT. So in the paid version, you can click on Explore GPTs, and then you can see up top right, it says My GPTs. And then it can guide you through creating your own. But what I did was, let's say for my, let's do for senior fit, right? So this is, oops, let's go back, explore GPTs, my GPTs, and then I want to click on edit. So when I was creating it, it walks you through the process. You name your business, you know, what's the just purpose of this GPT. So basically saying whatever you write in this space, it's going to create content specific for this. You know, so, and I'll show you like, you know, so I'm going to type in, write a press release in here, right? And then automatically going to see everything say senior fit in there. Because it's going to search within senior fit and it'll just create something. Senior Fit expands personalized wellness solutions, empower, blah, blah, blah. Founded in 2009. It's pulling in all my stuff. We've helped over 3,500 people lose more than 45,000 pounds, holistic approach. Here's our services that we do. You know, so it's just creating content. But all I said was write a press release. And the reason why, because when you configure your own GPT, you can put documents in here that feeds chat. So it's not searching online for just random stuff. It's literally, you know, searching about you know, the documentation that you created. So like in mine, I have what's called a business context file, and it goes through all the aspects of my business. Who's my target market? What are they looking for? What problems are they looking to solve? And I'm going through this whole iteration of identifying who we serve the best. Now, for all of our businesses, I know this is AI talk, but we're using AI to grow our business. There is what's called your ideal client avatar that you want to create, meaning this is a person that's the most likely to use your services and not get on your nerves. Like you're going to love serving this person, you know? And then you want to have, once you identify that, it's okay to serve people. Think about a bullseye. That's your bullseye. It's okay to serve other people, right? So let's say if I'm in real estate, because we had a realtor on here, right? And then you say, okay, who's my ideal client avatar? My ideal client avatar has a 700 plus credit score. Why? It's easier to find finances for them. They've been working for a certain period of time. If it's a couple, couples spend more homes than singles do. So I may have that as a bullseye, but then I may find a single person who wants to buy a house from me. I'm not going to say don't buy a house, but I'm not going to spend a lot of energy marketing to a single person who's first year at in their career. So you have to figure out who's your ideal client avatar, but you can load that stuff in here. Any marketing promotions that you commonly do, you can load it in here, and you can just put them as just like a regular document. Chat can read documents, it can read PDFs, it can read PowerPoints, it can even create PowerPoints, which is really cool. And then for me, I use this. There's a book called The Power of Moments, and it talks about the client journey. So I uploaded that in there. I have another thing talking about brand, and so I have all that, and it creates it from here. So you can create this yourself, and I'll just show you. Like this is just only for marketing, right? But then I have policies in my business for my staff. So I created this GPT, and it says, hey, this GPT is designed to assist in hiring, HR related tasks, including screening candidates, providing interview tips, offering guidance, advice for employee relationships, all my company policies, personnel management, all those things. And then in here, I have like a book called Drive, and I uploaded that. I have my correction policy, my core values, my staff progressions, I even have, this part logos for up here. And then I have like, who's my ideal client avatar for staff member. So I put all that in there. And if I wanted to interview someone, like someone submits an application, I can say, let's say if there's a recent applicant here that comes in. So here we go. Oh, Kindle applicant. Beautiful. So I have these two things here. This person just applied. I can upload their resume and cover letter. And I say start interview process. All right. So it starts the interview process. And I already prompted in one of my things to say, I want you to evaluate employees this way. So it says, based on the documents provided, I mean, I could spend time reading this person's stuff, but it's like, here we go. They want to work part-time, their relevant experience is 6 out of 10, right? Education is 7 out of 10. They're doing this. This is what their GPA is. They have this certification, which is unrelated to fitness, but demonstrates her ability to study and pass tech exams. She has no personal training experience. Skills is a 7, identifies personal training, sports, strong athlete mindset, and it'll just start evaluating this person from the different criteria I set up. So there's a lot of there's work in creating it, but once you create it, your workload decreases dramatically. So like a practice manager, you have someone's applying, you want to know like what is your interview process? What do you want for this person? And all those things. They even says, hey, this is cultural fit. She's a 7 out of 10. She has a strong work ethic, but she handles ADD without medication, being a high level athlete, because this person mentioned it. Then it gives me these are pros about the person, these are cons. And what I love about it is that it's when I sit down in an interview, I fall in love with people. So I'm like, oh, if I can get them in my environment, I can help them. So I'm not making the most objective decision. So instead, I put these are all the things that I value before into AI, and then AI helps me make the best decision. And it says, hey, would you like to move on to the screening interview, which is our next step? But it told me like limited career progression in fitness, no experience, no formal training, lacks coaching experience, especially for the 40 plus demographic. That's who I serve. And then, it says, hey, do you want to proceed to the next step? If I say yes, it creates the list of questions. So then now it'll just create a whole list of questions for me to ask her. I have a 20-minute screening interview, and it'll just bust out all the questions. So now every interview I go through, I can ask people questions that are specific to my values and their situation without being an HR genius. Again, this doesn't replace HR, it just enhances what HR can do. And in our small businesses, the reality is that in our small business, we spend a lot of time doing multiple roles. Like you're the marketing communication manager, but reality, you do a whole lot more than that. So those are things. I'll show you one last thing when it comes to, so that's just in there. I'll keep it within I'll keep it in a general chat. So I have like these different GPTs I created, and when you even create like social media posts, each platform communicates differently. So if I want to create a social media post, I want to ensure that I'm writing a post specific for that platform. So we want to give the post like the appropriate how do you say, like prompting, so that it can create content that's in line with that social media prompt, thing. So if I'm Kent County Tourism, I should be on LinkedIn, I should be on Facebook, I should be on Twitter. I mean, on Instagram or all those things. Now, there are places that you can put the content in one and it just automatically goes to the other, but you have to make a little bit of tweaks. So I give you an example. So we go visit Central Delaware. We created this press release, right? Then now I can say, hey, create a Facebook post, for it. So I can say, hey, of course, I have this super high, long prompt, but I say, hey, let's create this Facebook post. So I want it to be emotionally engaging, and then it gives me, because I asked for a couple things, it'll give me some like titles. Which one do I want to focus on? And you get a pick. So which one of these 5 do you want to use?
I would say number 3, where history meets adventure.
3. And then please provide your selections. Topic resonates with your goals. Awareness stage. So actually, it's funny, we were talking about this before you guys came on. Typically, there's 5 stages of awareness. This is important. The massage therapist who helps people get out of pain, right? The reality is that there are people that are unaware, that they need your service to do something. There's people that are problem aware, that they go, hey, I'm in pain. Someone who's not in pain is not a target client. Someone who is in pain potentially is, and the way you talk to someone who's problem aware is going to be different than someone who's solution aware. Solution means they know that they should be engaging in massage therapy, as a source, versus some people go problem aware, I'm in pain. Maybe I should do physical therapy. Maybe I should do this. Maybe I should do that. So those people have to talk to them different. And then there are people who know your business exists. So those are people who are product aware. So when we look at this Kent County thing, what stage of awareness are we making this post? Remember, it's on Facebook, who we're talking to.
I'd say solution aware.
I agree. Let's talk to solutionware, right? Because Facebook is kind of weird. They wouldn't even know you exist. So you'd be talking differently to someone who doesn't, and we're promoting this event. And then what's their relationship, right? So 4 stages of a relationship. Cold, they don't really know you're around. There's a spectator. Many of us have people who kind of watch our stuff before they engage with us. I've had clients who said, hey, I followed you for 10 months before I submitted my information to be a client. So there are spectators, a lead, someone who raised their hand and said, they want more information, and a customer, someone who's actually using your service. So who do you want this to go to?
Spectator.
All day long. And the reason why I explain is because, everybody's at a different place with marketing knowledge. And I just want to make sure that everybody gets value out of it, right? So we're gonna do number 3, solution aware. And then here's your Facebook post. Even puts emojis in there. and it'll even tell you what to do. So here's a Facebook post, boom, boom, boom. It says you need a split image showing historic landmark, maybe the old State House, and other side-by-side attraction, maybe like NASCAR at the thing. Maybe if you want to do a video, do a 15-second reel. So it doesn't replace the marketing person, but now you don't have to worry about like, or think like, what should I do? How many iterations do I experiment with? Chat will just tell you. I'll say, create a Instagram post. Instagram, Instagram post for the same market. Instagram, oh, just capital I. Yeah, and I just want to show you guys like how it looks just that little bit different. All right, so this one here, not, just a little bit different here, but it just speaks differently to it. Now, if I say, hey, create a LinkedIn post, right? I can say, hey, and then it tells you, hey, this is what you do. Create these stories, the carousel. This is the stuff that's going to help grow this. And you say, well, I want to talk to more professional for the same market. And then I'm going to give it my LinkedIn post, my LinkedIn prompt. How do you do this here? Oh, hold on. I'm in the wrong
Just
spot.
one thing though is that Instagram doesn't let you put links within the caption. So that
Correct.
one part is not.
You say look up to that, and that's the 30 40 30, right? So right now we're just doing the 30 40, and then you'd go in and fix it because you can't put a link in. You say look at, go here or whatever. Okay, there we go. And then it'll create something that's going to be probably a little bit more wordy to be on LinkedIn, typically. Oh, I gave it too long of a prompt. Oh, there's an article. And, we said problem aware, spectator. And this is the way you got to think about every post you put in. You don't have to do anything, but I'd recommend everything you put out there. You want to think about like, who am I talking to? Because every post shouldn't be talking to the same people the same way. Sometimes you're putting things out just so people know what's going on in Central Delaware, and then other times you're talking to people who are specifically, know like, hey, I have these certain needs, in there, and how you talk to them are different each time. So I said, hey, we're going to do this LinkedIn post, and then we're going to say, hey, this is just a different way to do a LinkedIn post, right? Why the next gateway is more than just a vacation or blah, 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 beyond the beach, expecting the side of the boom, traveler sea, so if we do number 2, just to speed this up, and then I want to show you one other tool. So last thing is that, while it's doing this, what chat can do is read massive amounts of documents in a short period of time. So for us, we'll use it to do all kinds of stuff. So I'm currently working with a gentleman that is going to help our business scale and do some things when it comes to mobility. So he said, Evan, send me the most common movement dysfunctions that your clients have. So I literally downloaded about 20 something attachments. I didn't read any of them. I just downloaded all these people movement report, and I told it. So whenever you do it, so if you don't want to do like heavy prompts, at least tell the chat who it is when it's creating the prompt, because it will write differently based on the background you give it. So I said to it, I said, hey, you're a physical therapist reviewing the attached mobility reports, identify the list of top dysfunctions. But I have to tell it who it is. I have to say you are X. So you may say you're a seasoned. So in the prompts that I had already copied and paste, what you don't see is that it said you're a seasoned marketing professional, specializes in client engagement, write a post identifying this, and this. So here I just did it, boom, and then it literally read all the documents and then spit out like, hey, this is this, these are the people, and then it gives me the takeaways, which is what I need to send to the guy. Shoulder external rotation is a common issue with several individuals showing significant deficits, particularly on one side, thoracic spine, and it just spit all this out. So when I did my whole upload from folder, and you see these like million files here, all these files, I copied all these files and just uploaded it right into chat. You can do it to analyze reports. I can like pull up, download the reports, let's say from attendance or from anything that you're doing. And then you can say, analyze this and show me common trends. And it'll show me like trends specific to it. If you're posting on your own website, you can, here we go. You can ask it to write something and even create the HTML file for you. So like I posted this on my website, it created this entire HTML file for me, and I literally copied it and pasted it right onto my website, which was cool, and it made my life super easy. And then I'll show you what it did. And I didn't the wrong site, sorry. CNU stretch. So boom, blog. Yep, this is the post. So ChatGPT literally created this for me. Now, if you go, Evans, what do you know about website creation? I do not. I found a YouTube link that said, click here. And then on one thing, I didn't know how to do it. And I just asked, how does it do it? And it showed this is exactly how to do it. So there's a lot of things that it can do just to speed up. And I'm using a lot of time on chat because I feel like that's the most common AI tool that's used. But Fathom's really cool. Otter, Perplexity. There's another one called Claude. Claude AI is similar to ChatGPT. You use all the same kind of prompts in Claude, but it talks more like a human. Like, it's not, as like how do you say it? It's more conversational with it. But it's another one in there. So you just play around. It's a constantly changing, evolving space. I'm just going to see if I missed anything and then definitely open it up, for questions. But there's a lot that you can do. Oh, this is I use this all the time. So so this one here is called Opus Clips. And then what I'll do is after this call, I'll give all these links to the chamber to Cindy so she can send out. But what it does is really, really cool. So you can take a YouTube link, drop it in here, and it will tell you the most viral components and what's the best thing to post. So does anybody have a YouTube page?
We do at Central Delaware, but it hasn't been updated in quite some time.
Anybody has anything they put out in the last 3 months or so?
Yeah, First Aid Educate definitely does.
So first aid educate, is it? Nope.
Yeah, just Educate. Yep, First Aid Educate. We had a podcast that came out just recently. Yep, that's up. You could go up to the first one,
This one.
the first like account. Yep, that's us.
So cool. So let's say you take this long one. So only if someone loves you, they're actually reading this, watching this whole thing, right? So instead, you can copy the link. You can put an Opus clip. Now, I should have done this in the beginning because a 45-minute may take a couple minutes to do in there. What it will do is you can access like how long of the clips do you want it to be. So let's say, hey, we want the clips to be like 30 seconds to a minute max. in there. If there's certain common words you want it to do, it'll grab the common words. You can even check like, what kind of format do you want it to do the words over with, in there. So let's say we grab this one in there. For me on my side, I have like templates. So every time it does something, it's going to write a certain way. It's going to put our logo up a certain way, so it'll automatically impress our logo on top of anything that we do. So let's say we pick this, and then I'm not going to save it as a default. You can say how much of your time frame that you want it to look at. So we'll just look at the whole thing, and we're going to just get the clip. Now this may take a couple of minutes to do. Has this new feature now that I can auto import my videos from CNU Stretch, but we're not going to do that right now. And this is saying, hey, it's going to be less than 10 minutes to do this video. But I give an example of one. I grabbed a chamber one a while back. Where are you, chamber? I do it all the time, so where are you? Tammy's testimonial. Well, I'll just use this one here. So I used, Tammy Ordway shot a testimonial video, and then it scrubbed through the video, and it said, "Hey, this is the best section
I can.
to do," and it gives it a rating where it says, "Hey, from the hook, like most likely people will engage from, one to, is an A, and then the flow is a A minus, the value is an A, the B trend is kind of like, are people like looking up this topic or whatever." It gives it the title for you, and you can plan it to post on your socials all from here. Now you can download it and upload it as well, other places, but it gives you all those pieces in there. And like for her one video, which was maybe 2.5 minutes, long, maybe because she doesn't do long testimonials, but it created, 10 files, and it'll rate them in order so you know what's the best section for to post. So when you do long form content, it's a really cool thing that it'll come in and spit out and say, hey, this is the best section. This is what's going to grab people and for XYZ platform. So I know I hit you guys with a lot of data, in here. I'll send a little quick like summary piece, just like, hey, boom, boom, and I'll have the links to the different social platforms and stuff. I mean, AI platforms to play around with, so you don't have to worry about if you missed anything in here. But I did want to open it up and just answer any quick questions or any questions people may have in the time we have.
Well, like you said, it was a lot to cover, but I can definitely see some advantages to using it with my business. I appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. As from the financial services, there may be some pieces of regulations around depending on where you are.
Mhm.
But, in a client interview, if you recorded it on Otter, you don't miss anything.
Right.
Then you can just take that Otter and then catch the transcript, copy it, drop it into chat and say, create a list of the most important parts, for this client, what are their concerns, their needs, and everything else. And
Do
then,
you tell the people you're recording them?
yeah, like if I'm here on this here, like this, you can see it says recording. But if I'm in person, and if I wanted to record, I say, hey, I'm just gonna record this so I don't miss anything for our notes. And pre-COVID, people were like, oh. During COVID, people were like, not really sure. Now everybody's just like, all right, whatever. They just know like, hey, you're gonna record me because it's gonna help.
Is Otter an app that you would have open, like if for in-person meetings? Or
Yes.
okay.
So it's both a website and an app. So it can be like right here. Oh, you can't see it because of my thing. There we go. So it'll be it's an app that you can use as well.
Awesome.
And when you get Otter, sometimes it'll automatically just drop into someone's Zoom meeting, and it'll be like, oh, Heather's Otter AI is coming into the meeting. Yeah.
Does anybody find that when the meetings are being recorded or note taking, that you don't have as natural of conversations in the meeting because people are more concerned about everything being recorded?
Well, for me, what I've seen is it depends on the sensitivity. Like, so let's say I'm discussing something, I want to switch conversation and I want to just talk about something that's I don't record it, I'd stop the recording. So it just depends on like how sensitive it is. So let's say, we were talking about how we don't really like Denise, I wouldn't have that on recording. I'm just having fun with you. But for most of the stuff, it depends what is the purpose. If my purpose is, hey, I want to help you get the right home or the right resource or the right whatever, the more information that I can get recorded, the more likely I can revisit that and catch it. Because we don't listen linearly. We listen, we think when we're not listening, and then we listen again, and our brain try to put it together. And that's why if you like reread a book or watch a movie a second time, you're like, when did they add that? You were
Mhm.
thinking and you missed that part. So this just allows us to not miss those inconsistencies.
Which do you prefer, Fathom or Otter?
For video, Fathom.
Okay.
And then for like in-person conversation, Otter.
Okay.
So if I was like, hey, I want to talk to this business, and say, hey, I'm just going to take some notes in here. Do you mind? No. And I just have a digital note recorder on my phone, then I would do that in person because that's really scalable and I can use that really well. And then if it's on video, I don't like right now, I just told you guys I was going to create a list of stuff. AI is going to create the list. you know? you know? Oh, so it'll make my job easier. Other questions?
I had a question about Perplexity.
Mm-hmm.
Is Perplexity like is that a search engine?
Yeah, it's like this cool AI search tool. But what it can do is like if I put something in, like the most common is like ChatGPT or Claude, it doesn't do a good job at looking through the website and gathering data. But Perplexity can, it can look through your site and give you information out of it. So that's what I like about it. I only use a free version. I use it to like, like, hey, what about this? And how do you compare that? And it'll run comparisons. It can do a SWOT analysis with your business, which is, really cool. But yeah, it does searching through the site.
There was a lot of information.
I know that's why we have
But it
recording.
was
So you can go
Yeah.
back, scrub, you can use this over time. The key, value add that the chamber says is to be the essential resource for businesses in Central Delaware. So you go to library, you're going to get a lot. And then it's your responsibility to kind of go, hey, I'm just going to use this one little portion and play with it, get comfortable. And then I can always come back to it and then use anything
Yeah.
comfortable and I can come back to it. And so my goal is to give you more information that you're probably going to use right now, but you come back to the water fountain, to be able to get, more pieces. Last reality, right? And this is from 2023. The impact that AI is supposed to have on the small business market is that 85 million jobs is going to be disrupted by AI. Because if I can write all these blogs, I can create all this content, I can do all this, there's a lot of people who are just not engaged, that's not going to have a job. On the plus side, though, 97 million new jobs will be created because of AI. And so, what we need to do as leaders is teach our teams to think at a higher level. Because I can get the simple answer out. What I can't do is teach the team, like what the AI can't do is think higher until I prompt it. So I need people who can think and say, hey, we're a small, orthopedic, service provider in central Delaware, you know, boom, boom, boom. We're looking to market, increase our thing to this. or you're expert marketing that specializes in working with physicians, and then now it can give me that, but people can tell like, oh, okay, he didn't really write that. So as much as possible, we still have to put our tone and our love on it. The other thing that AI can't do is give you a hug. So as much as possible, we have to teach our team emotional intelligence. Now, if you're older, if you're Gen X, you're a baby boomer, you have the competitive advantage because you were taught to like please and thank you, but the younger generations, the millennials and the new ones, Gen Zers, like you didn't necessarily have that, so you answer people with what. And the more technology we use, the more the human interaction is valuable. So it's kind of like this pendulum that we use more and more technology, right, which is great. So now when we connect with a human, you have to give that human a really good connection because we're not even talking, we're not even doing some of these things that were normal, in there. So EQ is the number one like decision factor when it comes to hiring and growth of the business. They even say like physicians who have more emotional intelligence, have less like complaints about their business and all these kind of things. As a massage therapist, right? Someone comes into the room, you don't just lay them down and start rubbing on them, right? You got to like talk with them, build that connection first before you do that. So all those things really matter because everything else people are defaulting to AI. And so good stuff. So what I'm going to do here is send all this stuff out. I did want to show you because in our little bit of chat, it created the thing for how do you pronounce your business? The first state education, right? So remember they had this long YouTube video and AI in a little bit of question answers created this and it says, hey, this
You don't have a seat at the table.
this is the most
Like
this
I
is
said,
okay.
you don't have a voice. Or if you can't commit to running for school board, there's other ways that you can get closer to having influence over decision making. And one would be to join a district committee. All school districts have at least a finance committee, probably a policy committee. They have other committees too. They might have a safety committee or a diversity committee, or if they're looking at attendance zones or changing feeder patterns, they might have a committee. But it's a really great way to get your foot in the door where you have a seat at the table. And then you're sharing information with the district from the community because you're representing the community. And then the community's voice is heard. So there's lots of ways that you can get involved where you can have your voice heard. If you don't have a seat at the table, like I said, you don't have a voice. Or if you can't
It's
commit.
repeating.
Yes. Yeah. So that's the most of everything that was said, the
Right.
highest
This is awesome.
opportunity in there. And it's like, this whole thing about the seat at the table, that's what's going to drive. The only thing I would say, not even watching this presentation is as much as possible, this person should have had like their face share with the screen or, something like that. Because if people can see faces or hands, this is marketing. If they can see faces or hands, they're more likely to engage.
Okay.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be an attractive face or an attractive hand. They just need to see a face and a hand, and they're more likely to engage with it. So as you guys do this, when you do another one, you either have a split screen or have her face on. She puts on the content and she drops it back down in there. But no one wants to just look at a blank thing, and that's why I always mess with people when I go on Zoom and I go, I can't see you because you can't body language, and people want to connect with people. So.
Thank you for that.
No problem. So I'll figure out a way. Oh, I can share this whole thing, this whole project clip to you. So I'm actually going to drop it in here and you'll have all of them. So boom, in your chat and send, done. Cool. So you've gotten all that. You just click that, open it up, and then you have everything that we just created. And I'll do the same for you too. The ones I created, I'll just share those chats over to you, Catherine, as well.
Could you change the access to it to public? It's currently private.
Gotcha. Privacy settings, public, confirm. So it should be, did it work now?
Let me double check. Yep, it's available to me.
Nice.
Thank you so much.
No
And I'll
problem.
definitely check out this resource.
Cool. Awesome stuff. So we are done here, unless anybody has a wrap-up question, and we're out of here. And let me just send this to you.
I want to quickly thank our two sponsors that sponsors Coffee Coaching, the Tracerel Dulce Putt Putt and the Barbarian Bakery. And I want to thank everybody for coming. And thank you, Evans. This was great.
You're welcome. It was good chatting with you guys.
Thanks for having us. This was amazing.
You're welcome.
Appreciate it.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Another
excellent.
amazing session.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Talk to you guys in a bit. And